Cindy here, physical therapist with Adaptive Equipment Corner. Today we are going to talk about how to transfer a patient from a wheelchair into a shower. So what we would do in this situation is we're first going to move the patient a little bit closer to the shower. Okay, so we're not pivoting them fully to this bench. We're going to let them, this is a patient that can help us transfer. They can do at least 50% of the work, if not more. Okay, this is not for a client that you have to fully lift. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the wheelchair up and we're going to make sure that it's locked. We're going to have her pivot with her feet on the outside of the shower. I don't want her trying to put her feet inside the shower and standing up from the wheelchair on the outside of it. So what you're going to do is you're going to, of course, when we're transferring into a shower, we don't want to transfer somebody without a gait belt. I always am a big proponent of using a gait belt just for safety. So what I would recommend is that go ahead and get the client or the patient undressed, but let's put a t-shirt or a shirt over them so that we can use the gait belt around them when we're getting them in the shower. So we're going to put the gait belt around her. Okay, and we're going to attach this gait belt, and if you have any questions on how to correctly buckle a gait belt, please refer to our video on how to correctly do that. So we're going to put the gait belt on her. So the next thing we're going to do is going to give Sherry some verbal cues on how to scoot forward. So we're going to have her lean back and push her hips forward to scoot forward. The other way that I would typically have somebody scoot forward, if it works for them, is I have them kind of walk their legs. So I'll have them lean to one side and walk the opposite side forward, and then lean back the other way and walk the other hip forward. So that's what I mean when I say walk their legs forward, okay? So you're going to have the patient get to the edge of the chair. You're going to then ask them to help you push up. So I'm going to have her either push up from the wheelchair with both hands, or if she needs to, I will allow her to push with one hand and grab a hold and pull on this bar with the other. We're going to give some verbal cues on when we're standing. So I'm going to say we're going to stand on 3, so we all are on the same page, okay? I'm standing on my dominant side. I'm right hand dominant. This is where I want to be, so I have a good hold on Sherry when she gets up, okay? So we're going to get up on 3. 1, 2, 3, okay? Go ahead, Sherry, and take a hold of the bar with your other hand. Now we're going to give her verbal cues on shifting her weight so she can step into the shower. So you're going to shift onto your left leg, Sherry, and lift your right one and step in, okay? Now you're going to shift your weight onto your left, your right, and step in with your left. So now we've got her into position to sit down, and we're going to ask her to hang onto the bar and go ahead and have a seat. Now, one thing I do want to mention when you're transferring into the shower is I do recommend go ahead and get the patient undressed, but let's put a t-shirt on them so that we can use the gait belt. I don't think it's a wise idea to try to bring people into or out of the shower without a gait belt, just for security. So once you're done with the shower, you do want to dry their upper body, of course dry them off, but get their upper body dry. Go ahead and put a t-shirt back on them and put a gait belt back around them, okay? So when we're stepping out, we need to take a look at a few things. We need to make sure that we get their feet dry. We need to make sure the bar is dry so they don't slip there. And if we have any water that's come on the outside of the shower, we may need to make sure the floor is dry. If you need to put a towel down to make sure that everything is secure, you can do that too. We just want to make sure that the towel is not going to slip, okay? So I would give Sherry verbal cues on coming out. Again, I'm going to step in here a little bit closer. Of course, I'm not going to be on that side, but this again is my dominant side. I'm going to ask Sherry to go ahead and take a hold of this bar, okay? And again, I'm going to give her verbal cues to stand on 3. I'm going to keep my knees bent and I'm going to come in a little close to her. I don't want to try to help her up from way out here. I need to be close to her. So we're going to come up on 3. 1, 2, 3. We're coming up. We get secure here, and then again we're going to give her some verbal cues on weight shift. So she needs to move her left leg, she needs to shift over to the right so she can step, and just be careful on how big a step we're taking here. And then I'm going to step out of the way, going to shift over to this hip and that's it, and just kind of shift back and forth. Perfect. I'm going to ask Sherry to at least reach back to the chair with one hand so she knows where it is. Feel the chair at the back of her legs and go ahead and have a seat. Okay, So that's how we would perform a wheelchair to shower transfer in this particular situation. I hope this video was helpful. That's it for today from Adaptive Equipment Corner. And don't forget, if you can't do it, adapt it.